whereunto you do well that you take heed, as unto a light that shineth in the dark place, until the day dawn and the day star arise in your hearts. All right. So now let's look at this chapter here. Now notice that's Second Peter's, right? Oops. Second Peter's chapter 1 and verse 19 is the point. Now notice in Isaiah, the 14th chapter and the 12th verse, for light bearer, it uses the word Lucifer, right? Now here it uses the word what? The day star. Now let's find out what the day star says in the Greek. Day star here, phosphoros. Remember we read the definition for eosphoros, and eosphoros and phosphoros was the same thing. Well, let's see what this word means. Light bringing, giving light. The planet Venus, the morning star, day star, metaphorically Christ, or for Yahweh Shai. All right. So it doesn't mean Satan. All right. It doesn't mean Satan was cast out of heaven. All right. So that's just to show you that these devils are very slick and they're very demonic. That's why the scriptures say that the serpent was more subtle than any creature that was created. All right. So now let's go from there to the book of let's go back here to Isaiah 14 and 12. Let's read that again. And then when we read that again, we got a couple of scriptures we want to hit just to show you that it's not talking about Satan. This is Isaiah 14 and 12 again. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? Because they are the Illuminati. The term Illuminati means light bringers, or should I say illuminated ones, which is the same thing. All right. And then who are the Illuminati? Them and their flunkies. They're basically they're people like the international bankers and their flunkies that are enlightened to what's really going on behind the scenes, and the majority of the people out there have no idea, no clue of what's going on. And just in every empire that ever stood, you always had a hierarchy that knew what was going on. Like you had the Egyptians that had the Magi's. You know, they had certain magicians and certain men that would come before the king and interpret dreams, and they would use sorcery. They would read the stars and all that. The Babylonians, they had the Chaldeans. The Chaldeans were known to be like the top magi's of the ancient Babylonian Empire. It's no different today. Today you have the Council of 13, you know, which is 13 witches that consult consult the demons for Rothschild, the Rockefellers, and the rest of the international bankers to keep this society afloat. All right.
Start with the one that says organizations, and if you'll notice on all the pyramids, the first three blocks are exactly the same. Now, if you've heard my testimony, you know that I came from the Council of 13. Now, I want to stop. Take about 3 minutes to explain the doctrine of the high part of the occult. The last 4 levels of the occult, or the last 3 levels of the occult, the 4th, 5th, and 6th level, and most of the modern cults today, particularly Mormonism, believe the same thing. How many people ever saw a movie called The Dunwich Horror? Nobody ever saw that movie. A couple people saw it. Okay? And I think Sandra Dee was the star of it or something. Okay. That was probably one of the strongest movies truthful about witchcraft and their beliefs that ever existed. Now, there was the original occult Bible, witchcraft Bible, was called the Necromonicon. There's only 3 copies in existence today. One is in the town in St. Petersburg Cathedral in the USSR. One is in New York City. No, I'm sorry. One is in Glasgow, and one is in London. I saw when it was on, the one from the London Museum was in New York for a while. I got to hold it and look at it and so on when I was in the occult. Now, from that, the Book of Shadows, the occult Bible, came into existence. Several books have been written from the Necromonicon and are in many Christians' hands today, which we're hoped that will burn before it's over. Now, according to the Necromonicon, the beginning of the world happened at man or mortals. You watch the...
All right. So that is no different today. So this here, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, means these so-called international bankers that are up in the high positions, they're gonna fall. They're gonna become tributary to us in the kingdom, and we'll show you that. son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? And that's what they did. They weakened the nations by dropping bombs on Hiroshima, Nagasaki, by going into different countries, bringing democracy, and really destroying the economy of the people of that particular nation by going down into Africa, saying that they're going to give them, aid and help, and vaccinating the mass population of those so-called them Hamites down there with AIDS and all that. So these devils are terrible, man. These devils are the devil, and they're going down. And guess what? Everything that they've done, they're going to pay for it double. And not only are we going to be getting in their ass, these other nations are going to be getting in their ass. So you so-called white people, you international bankers, man, you got a horrible, horrible day coming to you, man. And it will not be long from now that you devils will go down. All right? Now, I want to go from there. Let's go to the book, because you brothers can read the whole chapter now that you understand that, and you pretty much will get the idea. I just want to hit a couple more scriptures and end this lesson. But let's go to Isaiah 47:1. And Isaiah 47:1 reads, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon." Why they say come down and sit in the dust? Because America, who is a virgin daughter of Babylon, is exalted up to the heavens. What happened to Capernaum? Yahweh Shai cursed Capernaum. He said, "Thou Capernaum are lifted up to heaven, but thou shalt be brought down to hell." Meaning that you were in a lofty position, and you're going to be brought down to slavery or destruction or your death. All right, which really that's what happened. They were destroyed. That city Capernaum was destroyed so much that when you go there to this day, the archaeologists and so-called scholars, and they debate where the actual site of Capernaum is to this day. That's how greatly fulfilled the word of Yahweh Shai became upon that city. So it says, "Come down and sit in the dust," because you international bankers, you're proud, man. You're up, you're sitting lofty right now. The Most High said, "The pride of thine heart has deceived thee." All right? The Most High is going to bring you devils down. He's bringing you down right now. "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon," because America really was never touched by like a major war. I mean, you had, your little conflicts when they were fighting each other here, the French Revolution and all that, but that was really minor compared to what happened to Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Afghanistan, and all these different wars that America has perpetrated on these nations and jacked their lands up. Sit on the ground. Why? Because the scriptures say, it says, "Sit on the ground, there is no throne." You see? So basically, the Lord said, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cast down to the ground, which didst weaken the nation?" So you devils are going down, man. All right? It says, "O daughter of the Chaldeans," because the Chaldeans had what? The Chaldeans were the top witches of the ancient Babylonian Empire. And you so-called white people, you have top witches among you. And one of the main top witches is what? The Council of 13, which this guy John Totter was a part of. "For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate." So you devils are going down, man. All right, now let's go from there to the book of Malachi, the first chapter, and we're going to start at the first verse and read on down. And it says, "The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord, yet you say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountain and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness." Right? Because at one time Esau was brought low. But then they came back up, they rebelled against us, and they set themselves back up into power. And they set kings up over themselves. But then eventually they fell again during the time of the dark nations to fulfill the prophecy in Genesis the 3rd chapter, where he was going to be brought low, he was going to eat dust, he was going to crawl on his belly. And that happened to Esau when they were up in the Caucasus Mountains. It says, "Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places." And this is what you devils have done. You've been building, man. You've been building and you've been building. And all you devils do is build. I never read no scripture where it said that Japhet was going to build and build and build. The only nation that built like you devils are building is you so-called white people. The other nations ain't building like you. The only reason why you go to these different countries and there's buildings there, the skyscrapers, is because they're following after you.